Hey everyone, we are live in the Stagwell Content Studio here at Cannes. I'm Christie Bishop, the SVP and Head of Tech and Entertainment for the Harris Poll. I am joined today by the amazing Puja Vohra, the CMO of Fox Marketing and Ad Sales. Welcome to the Content Studio.
Thank you, Christy. Good morning.
And more importantly, happy anniversary.
Thank you so much.
So 1 year ago today.
I mean, I was just, this was, yes, last year, almost a year ago. Because I think this year we're a little bit later. Cannes is a little bit later than last year. It was my first day at Fox, my first ever Cannes, and I flew in that morning. It was the most intense 3 days that I've had in a long time.
I can only imagine.
Yes.
So thinking a year back and thinking about fandom and passion, we've talked a lot about Fox fandom over the course of our relationship.
Yes.
Where were you then versus where are you now?
It's night and day. The reason Jeff Collins, who's our president of ad sales, the reason he created the role and had me come on was he really wanted us to think about our narrative in the marketplace. How do we think about ourselves as a portfolio? We have very powerful verticals, Fox Sports, Fox News, 2B, Fox Entertainment, Fox One since I got here. But we had a very vertical first strategy in the marketplace, and he really wanted us to think more holistically about how we talk about ourselves. And it's been, you've been a part of the journey for sure, but it's been an intense year. I got here, and at first we did some benchmarking work to understand the white space, competition, what people are saying, what people thought about us, perception, all the good stuff, and that really helped us. I would say hone in and narrow in on this idea of that was always existing across our portfolio, but we hadn't quite articulated it. We did some phenomenal work. I mean, it takes so many partners to come together to pull good work together. And I was really lucky. We worked with a Sibling Rivalry, Bo Bishop, and his team at Sibling Rivalry. They did phenomenal work for us, and we spent, I think, a good 6-8 months. They were in the building, talking to everyone, talking to stakeholders from all of our verticals, talking to Mike Mulvihill from research, our research genius, and Ben Valenta, of course, all of the sales folks. Jeff was a huge part of it. And we really were looking for a through line. We were looking for something that was a white space in the marketplace, was obviously valuable and compelling to our partners and advertisers, but was really unique to us, something that we could own, and not just say we have it, but to really know that we had it. And so we did that work, and fandom was obviously such an important part of what each of these verticals have. And what we loved and what I still love, and I think good branding, good positioning has to stand the test of time, which is why I love that you're asking me about the year in. And I look back and I look at it, and we rolled it out about 6 months ago, so around CES, is that fandom looks different across every vertical. It looks different for sports, shows up in live, shows up in tribalism, shows up in rituals, looks different for news. It's about trust. It's about personalities. It's about habit. Entertainment is storytelling. It's culture building, and 2B, I think it's really around identity and discovery. So fandom looks so different for each of our verticals, but it was this DNA that is powerful and strong across all of us. So for us, fandom and really passion, our tagline is turn passion into performance. I think rings really true as I sit here and look back at the year and feel really good about what we're saying.
You have a lot to be proud of. That's for sure. Speaking of other announcements and anniversaries, you recently just signed a deal with Harvard.
Correct.
To study fandom. Can you chat a little bit about that?
Absolutely. And this is really Mike Mulvihill and Ben Valenta's baby. So we know that sports fandom, it's very intuitive, it's very obvious, but it's also deeply understudied. And so Mike and Ben have signed up with the Harvard Kennedy School, and it's a 3-year commitment to understanding fandom and thinking about the underpinnings of it. And I think they're going to really focus in on sports fandom, which again is so big and so powerful, and we're really excited to continue to see what comes out of it. Again, for us, we're not just saying we believe in fandom. We want to study it, we want to invest in it, we want to understand it, and we want to to take that out to the marketplace. And really, it's always about our advertisers who are at the center of it. So for us, it's about what does it mean and how can it benefit our partners.
So fandom's obviously a state of mind, right? Emotionally, intellectually, but it's also a physical response.
Absolutely.
So you recently did a partnership on a biometric study. I find this so fascinating.
Correct.
Can you talk a little bit about what happens
Correct.
when people view Fox, whether it's sports, entertainment, or news? What happens to their body?
Yes, as Kim Frank, our head of research, will say, fandom is not just a state of mind; it's a state of body.
Right.
And we've analyzed, I think, over 8,000 hours working with Media Probe. And again, you are able to identify the different kinds of fandom. You can sometimes the body picks up what surveys will not pick up. Of course.
Yes.
You may not even know what's going through your your sweaty palms or racing hearts or So I think we've again very very much still part of this initiative of studying fandom and thinking about it as an emotional reaction, as a physiological reaction, as a biological reaction, as a social good, as a behavioral reaction.
Yeah.
What do you do as a result of fandom? And then, of course, as an economic reaction, which is how does it impact our advertisers and how do you lean into
Yes.
those messages and, act, lean in, share, go to a store, click through a website.
Yep.
Because when you're engaged, that your body is telling you those signals.
Yeah.
We've really seen that I guess we call it our, not I guess, but we call it our fandom to spend connection.
Sure.
Is much higher than non-Fox. So,
Yeah.
really exciting stuff.
It's really exciting. Is there anything that surprised you the most about the research and the way that people respond to Fox from a fandom perspective?
Not really, but what I love is because you go through it yourself and you know what that means. But I think I just love that we are able to put more, heuristical, kind of parameters around
Yeah.
what we're doing, and we're really studying it and we're looking at it from different angles. I loved the work that we've done together. We're going to go
Yes.
out with it later in the market.
Yes.
In the fall, we're going to go out to the marketplace. And again, when you start to look at the data and see what does fandom mean and how does it impact an individual, I think it's just fascinating. It is
Yeah.
so fascinating. And it's interesting. I think somebody asked me recently, why now? Like, why you all, why is if fandom is so important, why has it been underserved or
Right.
understudied, if you will? And I think in many ways, we've always had brands that have believed in fandom.
Yeah.
I was, again, it's nice to come here and reflect back on careers, but one of my early jobs was at Bravo in 2001, 2002. We knew fandom. We
Yeah.
cared
Oh, yeah.
deeply about fandom.
I'm one of those. I
And
love Bravo.
even then,
Yeah.
we started in a different way. We were not academic about it, but we were intuitive about it.
Yeah.
But we leaned into what does it mean to be a Bravo fan,
Yes.
and how do we expand that universe for you? So I do think some brands have always been very focused on it, but I think now with supply is not the issue.
Sure.
Getting impressions and eyeballs, it's not the issue. It's around engagement.
Yeah.
It's around how do I find you in an environment, in a context, at a time when you are paying attention.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, and you'll hear a lot of brands talking now about engagement or
Yes.
fandom, and I think it's because you really need to find people and to connect with them. So.
Without a doubt.
That's my
I mean, speaking of that, so here at Sport Beach, but also at Cannes in general, one thing I'm noticing is a trend about IRL. Like, I don't know if you've been to the Pinterest manifestation, but everything is about get offline, get online, just to find ways to get offline, right? In fandom, when you come together in person as a
Yes.
community,
Yes.
there's nothing more powerful than
There is
that.
nothing more powerful.
Are you seeing anything in terms of Fox fans coming together offline and the way that they celebrate their experience with Fox?
I mean, Fox Sports, of course,
Sure.
I think is the biggest and the best of them all. Tubi has been doing some incredible work.
Yeah.
Thinking about bringing their fans together. The Tubi Cabana is just down the street, and we've just done some work. We haven't taken it out yet with Tubi, but we've spent some time talking to Tubi fans, and we're going to be putting that out in the world. And the way everyone Tubies is different, but for them to be part of that brand has become part of their identity.
Absolutely.
They identify as a Tubi fan. They care deeply about the brand. It means something to them, and it means something to them because it's so personal. There are horror fans. I heard about elevator horror. I guess all sorts of different
Never
genres
heard
of
it.
horror.
Sure, yeah.
But Tubi has it.
Yeah.
And of course, rom-coms and
Yes.
it's all of that. So I think it's been great to see how all the different brands think about translating fandom that could be a one-on-one connection in your home, on your phone, but then taking it out in the world.
Absolutely. And then much more to come on that with the Harris Poll research that we've done together in Fandom in the fall.
Yes.
That's a little teaser.
Yes.
Last question.
Yes.
So obviously everything here we're focused on brands and advertisers. From an ad sales perspective, what's one thing that you want advertisers to know about Fox fans that are different than others, so to come work with Fox?
I would say that we know that when fans are leaned in and engaged, it drives really great business for our advertisers. We know that our fans we see outcomes all across the funnel, starting from fans tend to remember advertising more. They are stronger on consideration. They are stronger on usage. They are stronger on action. They're stronger on recommendation, stronger on advocacy. So all the way down the funnel, fandom matters. Fandom drives performance, and that's why we again go back to turn passion into performance. And I think that's our sweet spot.
I love it. Congratulations again on a great first year. I'm so excited to see what's to come.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yes.